All right, so why don't we just start? There's some people in here. Thank you for coming. Houston, you always show up, and I'm not showing you my room. Um, so yeah, we're talking about possessions and exorcisms. Um, so like just to start, like whether or not you call it a possession, there's like versions of this everywhere um, throughout different cultures and all over the world. Some people call it possessions. Some people call it, they call it different things. I have a list here, but demons, jinn, hungry ghosts, ancestors, aliens, interdimensional beings, whatever. But the basic through line is someone's mind or body is being taken over by something else, right? Like something foreign. Um, and I'm sorry, suffering from marijuana possession. So
Me
that's a
too.
good kind. Yeah, that's a good kind. It's a lot more chill than demonic possession. So like every culture has their sort of version of it. And depending on who you talk to, a priest is going to say a demon, a psychiatrist is going to say it's psychosis, neurologist is going to say it's a brain thing, temporal lobe, whatever. Um, Anthropologist says culture bound syndrome. My thing that I found a lot, and I'll talk about this later, is like it's just like anything else. It's never one thing. There's never one single cause. It's always a combination of things. Um, so why don't we'll jump right into one of the cases, Rebe. Why don't you want to start with one? Probably
Um,
Annalise, right?
yeah, that's the one I got first, so that's which one we're starting with. Um, so the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose is actually based off of Annalise Michelle. I think that's her name. Um, Annalise was born in Germany in 1952. Um, she was raised as a devout Catholic. Around the age of 16, she got diagnosed with, no, she started having seizures, blackouts, debilitating headaches, and stated that she heard voices. Um, she eventually got diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy and was treated with various medications. um,
I'm surprised they just didn't immediately lobotomize her. Like, of course, it was Germany, so they probably weren't as into that thing over there, which is interesting. But
yeah. Um, People thought Annalise was possessed, especially her parents, because she claimed that demons spoke through her. She refused religious objects, and she ate insects and coal.
hmm,
So
spiders in the corner.
eating the spiders in the movie is where that came from. Um,
Yum.
and she would kneel consistently until she damaged her knees and she could no longer kneel. um, let's see. She eventually believed she was possessed. She didn't at first, but I mean, I guess once people tell you you are enough times, you know. She said she was possessed by Lucifer, Judas, and Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Um, Between 1975 and 1976, two priests got permission to perform exorcisms, and they did about 67.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it all happened in a 10-month span. They still have recordings that you can listen to if you can find them.
I heard some of them. Yeah, they're disturbing.
Yeah. Um, Annalise died in July of 1976 at the age of 23 due to dehydration and malnutrition.
Okay.
Not from exorcisms like the movie depicts.
Right. But let's rewind just real quick. 67. I think we glossed over that a little bit.
1976, my bad.
Uh-oh. What happened?
She died in July of 1976.
No, I mean, well, what I'm reading here, and maybe it was different, but 67 sessions over about 10 months of exorcism sessions.
Yeah.
So it's some crazy number of like, let's get
Yeah.
together and try to get the demon out. Like,
Yeah.
and I guess that probably entailed the normal exorcism exercises, holy water, a cross, a lot of God talk. I'm not the person to be asking these questions about, because I don't
know exactly.
I don't know. What I see in the movies. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I know about that. I don't know if there's more to it really than that. Praying in Latin, I guess. But go ahead.
Both the priest and her parents were charged with negligent homicide.
Yikes.
Doctors believe that Annalise suffered from psychosis, severe depression, and they stopped giving her medication once they thought that she was possessed. And that's why they got charged with negligent homicide, because they should have continued, medical supervision and whatnot. So yeah.
I'm just reading that. So like the medication thing. Yeah, I mean, and if she died of starvation and dehydration, somebody's not doing something that should have been done. I mean, that's terrible.
Oh yeah.
But does Juliet talk or just sit there and give me nightmares?
She'll talk later.
She'll talk. We'll get to some stuff later, but I'm actually happy that you're giving Houston nightmares, because maybe he won't ask to see my rooms much.
You haven't seen mine, so.
Yeah, this isn't the room. This isn't the room showing. This isn't reverse cribs. Like, look at my shitty room. Who wants to see the laundry pile? All right. Anyway,
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So where do you guys think that we should draw the line between respecting someone's religious beliefs and recognizing when they need medical intervention?
I mean, to me, it's obvious. If I'm not a doctor, right? But if somebody looks like they need medical help, they need food and water, obviously, or if they need, and I guess probably you're saying more like medication wise, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean,
right.
Through the
becoming a harm to oneself or others. Yeah, I mean, obviously, someone has to do something that you can't just let that stuff happen. Again, I'm probably the wrong person to ask for that, because I mean, Juliet, what do you think? Because my first instinct is like, help the person however you can, not feed into something that's probably hurting them more, even if it's true. That's kind of my point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I would forgo religious beliefs on that one and stay alive.
Yeah. So, it's that kind of gets to one of my points later that I wanted to make later, but it's going to come up anyway. It feeds into this whole thing. Like, it can be all these different things, and then all of a sudden it's possession, because it's just, that's the culture and society they happen to be in at the time. And then don't mind Houston, this is what he does. So like, I'm pretty sure gabapentin existed back then. I don't know, even if they spit up green PC at you. I mean, I feel like sometimes there's even different reasons why somebody would play into it themselves. Yeah. Even if let's say they believe it. They full on believe it, but there's still reasons why they're going to play into it anyway. Like, especially if you, like with Annalise, she had a lot of guilt, it seems. probably completely misplaced. I don't think she did anything to anyone,
No.
but she seemed to have, she seemed to have a lot of guilt about the whole thing. Like she, and she almost had like a, I don't want to say messiah complex, but she had this idea that she was suffering for other people, kind of Jesus-y like that.
Yeah.
So I just don't.
But in my opinion, I feel like there are definitely things that can be explained, especially on the mental illness end. She had the temporal lobe epilepsy, which,
Yeah.
I mean, it causes blackouts. The eating bugs and charcoal, coal, whatever, is a mineral deficiency. If your body craves it, and if it's there, you're gonna go for it. The hearing voices, I mean, she was mentally ill. So,
right.
I think it was all due to mental illness, not necessarily that she was possessed by Lucifer.
And there's something else we're going to get into later, which has to do with all of that. But yes, okay. No, I'm of the same thought process as that.
Or pica. Yeah.
What's that?
Pica.
What's that?
It's where you eat foreign objects.
Oh, fun.
Hair. Trash bags. You'll eat anything.
So yeah, no, there's always all these other explanations for it. And they make so much more sense than the other thing. And I sometimes I feel like
Houston.
What? Oh, I had Pico. I don't want. I'm probably going to end up losing more subscribers, but like
that's
sometimes I know whatever. Sometimes the priests make it worse. I feel like kind of like cops
in that scenario.
They just make everything. Yeah, they just make it worse. Like if the person is having all these feelings and like telling them that they're possessed by this evil force, I don't know how that helps. I just don't know how that helps.
Or even having your parents tell you, hey, you got a demon inside you. And you just hear it over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to become what people tell you are. That happens all over the place.
Did she end up speaking in tongues?
I think she did.
I can't remember now.
I think she did. I think she spoke in Latin, at least, which is crazy. That's one of the things that, to me, is the most unexplainable. Is when they all of a sudden they bust out Latin out of nowhere.
No, especially, isn't there something like there are people who have had traumatic brain injuries who have ended up speaking in a different language?
Yes.
And again, she had frontal lobe epilepsy. And epilepsy does a lot to your body and to your brain.
It's just, to me, that points to something really interesting, though, is how amazing the brain is. Because if she never officially learned Latin and all of a sudden, you just got bonked on the head, whatever happened, epilepsy, short circuit, and all of a sudden she knows Latin. Like she must have heard some of it somewhere, probably church.
But she's a devout Catholic, so she has heard Latin.
So she would have heard it. Right. Okay. So that makes sense. Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, it's, I don't know. This is all pointing to some other stuff we're going to talk about later. I found the more I looked into everything, the more interested I got, but not in like demons. Right. Like, I think the question here isn't whether demons are real. It's more like what is going on in the brain that causes all this, what's going on around them that causes all this, and more so even what are we looking at as far as like when the brain is in that state. We'll get into that later. So yeah, jinn, ancestors, cultural vocabulary. Yeah, so like it's a narrative feedback loop. You're presented with this narrative at a very early age in some of these cultures. Sin, the devil, demons, taking people over, doing all these horrible things. And then, you have epilepsy or you have mental illness or maybe you have both. And you start feeling these things, right? So like it feels real to you because if your perception is whatever you're perceiving is going to feel real, it's not like to them they're just acting it out. And I don't want to sound like that's what I'm saying either when I'm saying like they're playing into it. I don't think they're playing into it because they're consciously being like ha 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 whatever. It's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
The more they hear about it, the more it's reinforced, sort of the worse it's going to get until they. That's not nice, Houston. I don't like that. I have mental illness, so I really,
Yeah.
I think honestly, don't say that. Anyway, so it's okay. It's okay. I know. Just trying to be funny. It's fine. I do that all the time. I say things that I think are going to be funny, and like when I insulted the entire state of Connecticut, it didn't go over that. It didn't go over that great. I thought it was.
Anyway. It was funny, but the Connecticutans did not think so.
No, I guess not. I mean, when you tell people that where they live is just not real, but
figment of your imagination.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Like Barney.
So I'm just okay. I'm getting too far ahead here. Why don't we jump into? Unless you have more to say, anybody has more to say about that case in particular. Why don't we go to the next one?
No, we can go to the next one.
Okay.
Okay.
What is it?
Ronald Hunt. Is Ronald Hunkler?
Hunkler?
I don't know. Something like that. Ronald. Okay. No, that's what we'll call him. So, unlike Annalise, Ronald's identity was kept a secret for decades. And also, from what I read, there was nothing said anything about his family or him being overly religious. I'm not saying that they weren't religious, but not like Annalise and her family were.
Not devout.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
And his case is what made
America, right? This is in the U.S. Is this in the U.S.?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. And his case became what we know as The Exorcist. In 1949, a 13-year-old boy from Maryland, began acting strangely after the death of his aunt. She reportedly introduced him to a Ouija board prior to her death, and that's when allegedly all of the strange things started happening. Witnesses claimed that there was scratching behind the walls. He would have words like scratched into his skin, and furniture was moving. He did not ever rotate his head 360 degrees. And he did not vomit pea soup. So there's that.
I mean, the second one's at least possible anyway, but go ahead.
Yeah. Multiple exorcisms were attempted, and one priest even got injured because Ronald had stabbed him or scratched him with a bed spring. Let's see. In April 18th, which just happened to be Easter Monday in 1949, they did their last ritual or exorcism in... I don't remember. I didn't write it down. Look that up for me, Joel.
What is it? The last exorcism for him?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Ronald. I can never remember. Because he had like five different names. That's the thing.
Hunkeler.
Here he is. Exorcisms. Let's see. Try to find the last one. There's same thing. All right. So when I look this case up, the same thing. You'll find 5 different stories about it, all claiming different things. The one thing
I think
that
it was in St. Louis.
St. Louis.
I think is where they performed his last exorcism.
So, like at last, what happened after that? Why was that last? Did it work or did he die?
Yeah, no, he did not die. During the climax, the priest reported that there was a different voice coming from Ronald that said, "Satan, Satan, I am Saint Michael. I command you to leave this body." And after that, Ronald was perfectly calm, and nothing allegedly ever happened after that.
That did the trick.
That did the trick.
Saint Michael.
Yep.
What is it? I'm gonna dig into that a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. Skeptics say that the boy created the marks on his skin by himself, and adolescence and grief with losing his aunt had a lot to do with why he was acting the way that he was acting. And then the believers say that, several clergy independently documented experiences, and there's just some things that he did that could not be explained.
Yeah, that's what I read. That it was all the crazy stuff. Let's just call that all the crazy stuff that happened, the furniture moving, the scratching, and all that. It was all from witnesses. Usually, most of them well after the fact. It was documented after the fact. Doesn't mean they didn't say it after the fact, but the first time it was documented after the fact. You're sideways, Juliet. You should just go all the way upside down. Actually, that would really get people going. Right, Houston will freak out. So, like, and I just looked up Saint Michael real quick, and I didn't really find anything that was super relevant to it, but I just want to read this because it's weird. Okay. He's the patron saint of a variety of causes and professions, most notably police officers, paratroopers, military personnel, and grocers. That's a weird one. It's like first responders and the people at the grocery store have Saint Michael to help them out. Like, I was trying to figure out like why, if there was a reason why they invoked Saint Michael, and that seemed to do it for him. Because I'm looking at it from a psychological standpoint. Like, why was that the thing, or just maybe did he? I don't know. Yeah. Again, I don't think these. Go ahead.
The priest didn't say that. He said that.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, the boy.
He invoked Saint Michael then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I mean, in that sense, Saint Michael is definitely one of the more. I don't know. I don't want stronger saints. Obviously, most of his. Yeah, like no, he's like kind of what I'm reading. He's like kind of like he's got some of the powers. You know what I mean? Like. Are an archangel and warrior of God, and yeah, so he was
an angel.
Yeah, he's not fucking around angel. He's one of the not fucking around angels. He brings a sword, and so kind of makes sense a little why he would invoke that. And
have you ever seen the movie Legion?
Yeah, actually,
he was Michael, right?
Yeah, he was perfect, right? Perfect persona. Yeah, a strong motherfucker, right? Like he was fucking shit up. He was, and like that's kind of makes sense. He's like, I'm gonna invoke this one. And again, I'm thinking of his thought process behind the scene. His subconscious. I'm not saying he didn't believe it. I'm not saying all of a sudden he's like whatever. I think most of these people, the vast majority, fully believe what they're going through.
But see, unlike Annalise, there was no proof that he had any kind of mental illness or neurological defect or anything like that. That's why I picked these two specifically, so we could see, like the mental illness aspect, and then the what if,
without
possession.
Right. And there did seem to be somewhat traumatic event in his life prior to with the aunt dying, if they were close, of course.
And they played with a Ouija.
And they played with the Ouija board. When was this? This was in the 50s or
It was 1949.
So he lived. Look at that Flypaper Pod. By the way, actually, I want to just give a shout out to Flypaper Pod. I don't know if they're still here, but they're a great supporter, and I enjoy their support and everything. June 1st, 1935, May 10th, 2020. And this is what we really want when we do these things, is like people to just be like, boom, throw something in there. That's, thank you. Yeah, I get the heart. I like it. So he lived until 2020.
Mhm.
It really makes you wonder what the last 20 years of his life was like.
Yeah.
Was it
I mean,
totally
he's-
normal? Was it
he's
like a
famous.
grandpa? He's famous?
I mean,
Yeah, I guess he would be. Yeah.
the whole movie was based off of his experience.
Yeah. That's
Like,
my
that
mother's
wasn't-
birthday, actually, first.
They didn't know that until, decades later. But
yeah, right, because there was a lot of secrecy sort of around it. And so was it Maryland? It was Maryland. He was so Maryland. First thing that comes to mind is Crabbe and Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe is where my mind.
Soft shell crab and Edgar Allan Poe, Old Bay seasoning. Funny, we just hired a guy at the scale place I work at, and he's from Maryland too. It's not funny. It's just how the world works. But someone has to be from somewhere.
Not Connecticut.
Not Connecticut. Nope. Sorry. Don't get me started. Saint. It's really just a recurring joke we have at work. Whenever we have to drive down there, we're just like, what? There's nothing here. Till you get to the coast, there's a lot of nice like woods and stuff, but you don't see that when you're on the throwing hatchets at you, Joel. I love throwing hatchets. It's fun. So what's Saint Dimphna? Who's Saint Dimphna? Is that a real thing, or is Houston just pulling my leg like he usually is?
Google it.
Oh no, it's a real thing. That's his favorite. A saint honored in Catholic and Eastern Orthodox. Interesting. Both. Okay. So both. That's actually, we could do a whole show on the split between Catholic Church and Orthodox. That's, to me, is fascinating, actually, but that's a different subject. It's a woman saint. According to tradition, she lived in the 7th century and was martyred by her father. Oh, isn't that nice?
You act so surprised that it was a woman.
Well, I actually didn't know there were. I know Joan of Arc was, but I didn't think there were that many, I guess. I didn't think there were any actually besides Joan of Arc. So, I mean, again, not the guy to be asking about religious history and stuff, sure, unless it has to do specifically with, like, what happened. I don't know anything about the saints or any of that.
Me neither.
I do know about the split between the Catholic and Orthodox Church, but I don't know jack shit about any saints. Patronage. She is the patron saint of mental illness.
Okay.
Interesting, Houston. I'm seeing a pattern forming here. She was said to have been 15 years old when she died, and their hiding place. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. This is interesting. Has anyone seen? You must have seen Joan of Arc Messenger with Lilu. What's her name there? The actress from Fifth Element. Lilu.
Yeah.
With the what's her?
Mila
Jovovich. Thank you, Mila Jovovich.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so in the beginning of that movie, she hides in like a kind of a closet or whatever, and her whole family is slaughtered by these English soldiers. But there's something similar here. Damon sent his agents to pursue his daughter and her companions. She was traced to Belgium. When their hiding place was discovered, Damon traveled to Geel to recover his daughter. Damon ordered his soldiers to kill Garibaners, I don't know who that is, and tried to force Dimphne to return with him to Ireland, but she resisted. Furious, Damon drew his sword and struck off his daughter's head. Jesus.
God
Christmas.
Bless.
Like, all right. Why? Anyway, like, I have a disagreement on the head's coming off. All right.
A little
All
over
right.
the top.
A little over the fucking top, little off the top. Anyway, like what? Anyway, like, and you made her into a saint. So yeah, let's go back to Ronald here. I got sidetracked. It
Okay.
happens.
All the
Easily.
time.
Yeah. All the time.
All the time.
It's literally how I write everything. But anyway, I just follow the sidetrackness. I'm sorry, what?
They're like little side quests.
They are like little side quests, and sometimes they turn back into the main quest, and that's when it gets good. Anyway, I'm trying to find more about him. There's just so much information that's not, and just because he wasn't diagnosed with anything doesn't mean that he wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, no,
because
I'm not
I
arguing
mean, look at the time period. It was 1949.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of It was basically like, oh, there's something wrong. Do you want to get it poked in the brain with a spike?
But he was also 13 years old. Your body starts changing.
No, that's fair though.
I mean,
no, we all know what we were like during that period. We're all over the fucking place. Your mind is just—it's crazy. Yeah. You're literally, the hormones are going everywhere. You don't know what to think. That's why we give kids that age a pass on just about anything.
Being little assholes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the hormones are everywhere. It's any other religions do exorcism. Yes, they absolutely do. I don't have any kind of a list. I don't know if you looked anything up, Rebecca.
No, well, I was waiting for Stone Mouse was supposed to send either me or you stuff about how they do it over in India and stuff, and they never.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Judy,
what now? Oh, Judaism. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with most of the time when that happens, it's a lot more secretive. Like it's not, they don't document it like Catholicism seems to. And that's an interesting, why, right? It feels like, I don't know, there's too many factors for that, but Houston. I do appreciate his presence, though. He brings a lot of flavor to the
and
show.
Pheromones are an actual thing.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
We're animals. Just saying.
Yep. We're just fancy animals, really.
Woohoo. We got thumbs. Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs and everything. So, yeah, I mean, like, the interesting thing here is all the crazy thing that happens. The furniture moving, the scratches appearing, strange noises, religious aversion, multiple witnesses, but none of it was really documented. Yeah. Not until a good deal after the fact. Mm-hmm. Identity kept secret, which is fair because he was a child. Just kind of looking at some different things here. Yeah, Jesuit priests perform the exorcisms, or at least some of them, which is interesting. Yeah. In general, the Jesuits have a very interesting history in the sense that they were used for a lot of things. They were often used that weren't totally above boards. They were often spies in like medieval times and stuff, and during that they were often spies. I think it was after medieval times mostly, but not so much for like state spies, but the Catholic Church itself, because that time the Catholic Church was like this. That was the power center of the world. It was just the Romans redoing their thing. Anyway, sidetracked. All right, so let's move on to Jason Paget. Like, I feel like there's something more I want to say about Ronald, but I have no idea what it is. Like there's something I'm missing here. And I don't know what it is. But let's move on to Jason Paget. Juliet, why don't you tell us something about him? Do speak up because the mask is disrupting speech.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, distorting. You can hear that fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jason Paget had a severe brain injury during an assault. And after that brain injury, he started seeing the world as geometric forms and mathematical structures.
Okay. That's interesting. Well, yeah, no, just on that alone, I mean, that's a psychedelic thing all day, every day. That's what a lot of people report with DMT and mushrooms and all the other things. You start to see this sort of almost fractal pattern to the world, and everything becomes like you see like an underlying order to it, mathematical underlying order. So that's very interesting.
But
Especially, go ahead.
there was also something else in regards to some not necessarily brain injuries, but brain deficiencies, I guess. But there was one that I thought was really interesting, the Charles Bonnet syndrome. So basically, you have these complex visual hallucination in visually impaired people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that in itself, of course, you're going to think you're seeing crazy things and you're being possessed.
Yeah, well, I get that, and that goes back to whatever it is they're perceiving is real for them.
Yeah.
And whatever the cause is real for them. And I think that's the thing you have to keep coming back to. And again, we'll get into that a little bit later. A pixel. I'm reading here. In addition, he describes images perceived by his eyes and brain as having a pixelated look. That is right in line with psychedelics. That's really interesting. I just want to point out too. I said it before. I think before we were live, but this is tragic. I mean, they're all kind of tragic, but he seemed like a really just kind of a good guy who did a lot of cool things and just got jumped at a bar. It doesn't say why. A lot of times there isn't a reason. And they just mercilessly beat him and gave him a brain injury, and then all these things happened. He had signs of obsessive compulsive disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. Of course, that will happen when you get beat. Began viewing the world through a figurative lens of mathematical shapes. So that's okay. Let's just get into it right now. That's my whole thing with this, right? And we always come back to this on this show. It seems to be a recurring theme. Altered states of consciousness and consciousness as a field and not as an individual generation, right? So something happens to your brain, whether you give it something or whether you get a brain injury or something, whatever it could be. It could even be, I think it could even be just what's happening around you to a certain extent. Breathing and all these other things. So consciousness isn't an individual generation, and it's a field. Maybe what's happening here in some of these cases anyway is their brain is getting retuned or recalibrated during all these experiences, and it's all these different factors coming in that's sort of doing that. If somebody's like in the middle of an exorcism or a demonic possession, whatever it is you want to call it, the one of the things is the breathing, right? They hyperventilate, and that's like one of the main things. What do they call that? There's a word, hypotropic breathing. It's the opposite of meditation. You breathe yourself into essentially a frenzy with very deep and quick breaths. and it can absolutely change your brain state. Like they've documented it with brain scans and everything. And I wonder if there's kind of a maybe it starts out as like it could start out as a mental illness or a brain injury or both, or just sort of cultural influence, and they're told these things and whatever, and because it's this feedback loop and now they're experiencing all these things again and again, and it's being fed back in, it's changing their brain state as it's happening, right, even more so each time, and now they're entering this sort of altered state. Maybe they're perceiving the stuff that we can't normally perceive is my whole point. um, all the things that we can't perceive through our normal state of awareness. Maybe they're tapping into that, and that's part of the reason anyway why it seems so real for them. um, I'm not saying they're necessarily, they might be contacting other entities, but they what? um, but they could be, sort of accessing a different brain state to where they're perceiving new things, especially the world in a mathematical state, pixelated state. That to me, that's super interesting.
I mean, that's kind of what ketamine does.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're just in, like, you can literally be in a room and you can't get out of the room. Like, it's like in your head.
We're going to do a whole nother show on that alone about the it's related to this too, about the common stories that people always seem, not always, but come back with from ketamine, DMT, mushroom, a lot of, especially DMT. There seems to be this common theme.
It'll fuck you up.
Yeah. And there's this common theme of basically encountering another intelligence or another entity or entities sometimes. It's always very similar. The stories are always very similar, which is really interesting to me. So, yeah, I mean, like, and to think that, he wasn't, they're not giving him anything for this. He just got beat really bad. And now all of a sudden, he avoided people by only leaving his home at night for food and hammering 3 layers of blankets over his windows to avoid sunlight.
I mean,
yeah, I'm sorry. That reminds me a little bit. Like, I don't like the sun. It's too bright. It's oppressive. His personality had rapidly undergone a major shift. Okay, so that's interesting. There's another story. This one gets brought up in health and safety all the time, and I can't remember the guy's name. It was in like the late 1800s or 1900s. It was a mining thing or a railroad. Doesn't matter. There was an explosion. Doesn't matter. Yeah, they used TNT in both those applications. There was an explosion, and basically, like a 3-foot steel rod went clear through this guy's head, right through. Mm-hmm. No, they didn't pull it out. Just a hole right through. And before that happened, everybody liked him. He was this likable guy, hard worker, whatever, whatever trope you want to throw at it. People liked him. Afterward, total fucking asshole. I mean, fair. A steel rod went through his head, but he was extremely, like, easily agitated after that. It was too much of a difference for people to, kind of process.
Yeah.
And that to me sounds pretty similar to this. A traumatic brain injury can completely change someone.
Yeah, and it doesn't really take that much. My father-in-law, he was in a catatonic state for months, and he is not the same person that he used to be. He's very soft-spoken now. He also can't hold eye contact with anyone anymore, which I found very strange. But yeah, he is no longer the same person that he used to be. He was loud, he was outgoing, and now he's just flat. acts like he doesn't care about anything.
Yeah, that frontal lobe took some damage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. I mean, the whole lobotomy, and then we're back on the lobotomy thing, like crazy. Here we go. Phineas P. Gage. Here we go. Fly Paper Pod. Look at you. Phineas P. Gage, 1823 to 1860, was an American railroad construction foreman. Yeah. You know?
Oh no.
Oops. I mean, yeah, to be a foreman in anything, you have to be at least plausibly likable to somebody. Like, and you got to be efficacious, and you got to be hardworking. And afterwards, total asshole who couldn't do anything. Now, the interesting part was that he survived because the steel rod went through his head, but just came out a completely different person. He basically got like you got an industrial lobotomy, essentially. I mean, this one was just rebar through your head, like synchronicity. Yeah. So the other thing too is like synchronicity is one of those things that it kind of always amazes me. Like when you feel like there's a connection somewhere just because something happens, or you keep hearing the same thing over and over again. Angel numbers, people talk about that a lot. And I think that's something that can really feed a narrative. During this exorcism, the Bible falls on the floor and it falls open to a certain page, right? It's got to open to some page. The radio turns on, a bird flies into the window and dies. Like,
yeah,
whoever's there is gonna take all this to mean something. It probably doesn't. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Depends on what you believe.
Depends on what you believe. I tend to reserve belief for things that can be proven. Anyway. So, I don't know if it's worth discussing, but like, Memnoch the Devil is that book about that Anne Rice wrote, and Memnoch was essentially, the idea is that like the devil wasn't evil. He just had a disagreement with God about how much we should tell the people, we should tell humans, man, or whatever, about enlightenment and like how to reach heaven, how to reach enlightenment, how to reach, eternal, whatever. God thought they should have to discover it on themselves. The devil was like, no, that's cruel. Why wouldn't we just tell them up front? And then we'll have this ordered system, right? If they step out of line, they'll know it because they're choosing to do it. But God was like, nope, we're going to keep the whole thing a big mystery. And that's why he got rid of, Memnoch, you're out of here, whatever, going to the underworld. But in that sense, assuming that was true, assuming that's what the devil is and that's what he sort of believed, why would he want to possess anyone in that sense? He wouldn't really, right? It seemed like more in that sense he wanted to, to me, that's always been a plausible idea of a devil, but he wanted to change the framework that people operated within. He didn't want to change the people themselves, which begs the question, assuming that possession is real in the sense that there's something external happening, what is it? What's the external thing? If it's not the devil, what is it? Maybe it's like these sort of like entities that, move through different dimensions or exist in different dimensions, and maybe they're not even malevolent. Maybe they're just, it's almost like a bad reception on a radio. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to get through, or maybe they are malevolent. I don't know. I think with everything else, it's just imperfect. The whole thing is. What keeps happening over there?
There's a ghost.
A lot of things. Oh, yeah. Perhaps the most dangerous. Explained it. All right. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to get into was group possession. This was really interesting to me because there's a lot of cases of that too. Groups of nuns, students, entire villages in some cases. And what they call that these days is psychogenic illness. room have already seen the oscilloscope. Wait, you can see the oscilloscope? Y'all can see the oscilloscope?
on the last
Yeah, I
live.
can't. All I can see is my giant head. I can't see. Oh,
No,
the last
on the
live.
last live. Yeah.
Got you.
Right.
Now I get nervous when I'm like, what else can you see? So
With your big old head.
it's just a mess. But anyway, so what they call it now is psychogenic illness or sociogenic illness, and it's when you get this like almost contagion effect, where it might start greater with some, and then it just builds and it spreads. Again, I think there's different reasons for that. But I have a couple of cases in particular that I wanted to talk about real quick. So the first one was, what do they call it? The Loudun possessions. It's 1632 in France. It's a convent of Ursuline nuns, which I actually don't know what that means, but some type of nuns. There was a charismatic local priest, Urbain Grandier, who was controversial. He had enemies. He had political enemies. He had religious enemies. He was accused of seducing women. Big surprise. He openly criticized powerful people. So there was already this tension, right, happening. So at one point, one nun claimed she was being visited by Grandier, spiritually, not physically. That she said he would appear at night. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of other nuns started saying the same things. And then eventually they started convulsing, screaming, writhing, barking, making obscene gestures, claiming demons inhabited them. Inhabited them. Some words now I just can't do. Accusing Grandeur of witchcraft. The public exorcisms became spectacles. There were crowds.
Make a show
Priests
of it.
question, yeah, right. Like it's entertainment now. Priests questions demons through the nuns. The demons gave names. Grandier insisted he was innocent of everything. Didn't matter. He was arrested, tortured, and burned alive. Now, to me, there's a couple. So let's say the first couple of nuns completely believed what was happening, and maybe some of the other ones subconsciously started to believe it too. But also, if there's already controversy with this guy, and some of them are like in league with some of the people, some of his enemies, they could see this as an opportunity to get rid of him, right? There's a reason now. They have a reason to accuse him in this way. Because if they couldn't do it any other way, then that's what you're going to do, right? You're going to go to the supernatural. You can't get rid of them the normal way, so you're going to go to the supernatural route. And that seems to be, to me, what happened. And again, I think the environment plays into this. I think when you have these communities and societies where people are essentially repressed, and I think it's weird because you talk about religion and spirituality and like whatever, but they're not the same thing. And I think in a lot of these cases, spirituality is actually repressed in these religious settings because you're forcing someone to worship and do these things and these rituals in these set ways. You're not allowing them to experience the world in ways that could, foster spirituality in that sense. Because I think it's a personal.
It's really about money. At the end of the day, it's a business, right?
Oh, religion, yeah. Especially back then, it was about money and power. And I think that if you have a lot of people who are repressed like that, emotionally, spiritually, when they get a chance to break that mold, they're going to do it in amazing fashion. They're going to go the full nine. They're going to, Houston wants to know what's on your shirt.
I don't know. I think the Demon Slayer ain't amazed yet. I don't know. My mom gave it to me.
It becomes a laboratory for shaping experience. you know, and I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, if you look at the Salem witch trials, there's a similar thing happening there. Extremely repressed society. The Puritans were just awful. And then you have these girls that are like, let's go out in the woods and do something forbidden, taboo. We're going to dance around. We're going to whatever, right? Really, we look at it now and we're like, they were just having fun. But and then maybe you have a couple of them that have some sort of underlying mental illness, or maybe there's some psychoactive stuff that gets thrown around at some point, because they used to do that. They boiled herbs or whatever. Or maybe there could have been ergot in the flour. And so some of them were experiencing real hallucinations, real experiences. And then it spreads in this way, right? It spreads to the rest of them. And the rest of them might believe it too. You know, I don't think they're faking. I think it spreads like a contagion. Now that one, there was like a reason for them to do it, right? So I tried to find one that didn't really have a reason. And what came up was the Morzine epidemic, again in France in 1857, a couple hundred years later. Began with a handful of teenage girls and then spread to eventually dozens of people, mostly young women. Developed symptoms: convulsions, screaming, uncontrollable movements, trance states, aversion to religious objects, all the claims of demonic influence, all the hallmarks, right? The local priests became convinced demons were involved. Exorcisms were performed. The symptoms spread further. So the exorcism, this is what I was getting at earlier. I think they make it worse. They keep telling me, I thought you were my. I'm sorry to take you on. What?
Just Houston being Houston.
Houston being Houston. All right. Eventually, physicians arrived and concluded the illness was psychological rather than supernatural, which is interesting in 1857. Sort of.
1857?
Yeah. And eventually physicians arrived and concluded the illness was psychological rather than supernatural. I'm sure they had different language for it then, because psychology wasn't even a word at that point. I don't think it was anyway. There was no reason for these girls to be doing this, basically, is what I'm saying. Not one that we know of. There wasn't a priest they were trying to get rid of. It just seemed to be this sort of phenomenon that happened. And the fact that it spread from the group of girls to a lot of the rest of the public is really interesting. That to me points to some kind of like the ergot thing, when you have a fungus in the flour and everybody's tripping balls and nobody has any reason why, because they're all eating the same bread, right? Yeah, the dancing fever or whatever they call it, where you had a whole town of people dancing for like 48 hours. Some of them died.
It's like that Midsummer.
Yeah.
Dancing Plague of 1518.
Yep, that's the one. And that's happened more than a few times. Are there demons in my yogurt? There might be. Probiotics, there's something living in there. Took to dancing for weeks. Theories behind the phenomenon being stress-induced mass hysteria. Theories include ergot poisoning. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was more or less settled, but yeah, how would they settle that? It's just, so yeah, the whole group thing, I think actually it points to something that's common throughout all of them, in the group thing and the individual thing. You have this society and structure around you that's reinforcing all the beliefs. And it's really, how do you break out of that? Right? I don't know. Sorry, I'm just reading some of my notes. What is going on here? Dancing sickness. I could use that. St. Vitus. I think the interesting thing isn't that people fall ill in this mysterious way. It's that belief, narrative, stress, and social influence can cause actual physiological symptoms, real symptoms. You can think yourself into a terrible place. You really can. The brain is an amazing thing. It's as scary as it is amazing. just reading more of my notes here. So yeah, no, the first ingredient is a culturally available explanation: demons, witches, spirits, aliens, whatever. The second ingredient is heightened emotional arousal. One in every single case, right? The trigger is an unexplained illness, a seizure, a brain injury, a dream, a panic attack, or an altered state. Then you have the social reinforcement: family, clergy, friends, community. Um, and every single thing that happens after that, with that case, whatever case it is, every single thing gets filtered through the same lens. So it's a self-reinforcing thing, a feedback loop. Yeah, that's what I took out of the whole thing, was that you just have these self-reinforcing structures. You know, you're never going to prove demons are real or not, but what you can prove is the brain does some amazing things with itself. You don't need anything else half the time. I mean, just from my own experience when I was in the hospital, I had conversations with people that didn't happen. I found out later they didn't happen because I brought them up and they're like, nope, didn't talk to you about that. And I don't know how that, I can't explain it. I really can't. It just, I remember them to this day. I remember what they sounded like, and it didn't happen. So I don't know.
Sorry.
Hold on. It's okay. I'm looking at some.
I'm done.
Oh, there's only one other person. There's two other people in here. Okay. We're basically talking to ourselves and two other people. Joshua Lee Downs, and I'm assuming Houston. Joel, you've got a screen share if you expect us to follow along. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's just notes. It's not anything to share.
My God.
I usually do that. The last one we did was missing people, and that was a lot of fun because we had the maps and everything. I was in my element with the maps. Yeah, I'm not in my with this.
I gotta take this microphone off.
Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, no, that's basically all I got. I didn't have much else to offer besides that perspective. That's it. Do we want to talk about food? We want to do mixed signals now. What are you discussing? We were discussing exorcisms and possessions, Joshua. We've kind of reached the end of it though, because we don't really have much. Unless either of you have anything else you want to talk about with that.
Juliet, you got anything?
I'm good.
I was gonna say I don't have nothing else. Let me come up.
All right,
let me come up with a question.
Yeah, what's our mixed signals for the? We're trying to do a mixed signals segment where we talk about arguments, mostly arguments about food.
They are usually about food. Okay, I guess this one's not about food. But I mean, it's still a controversial thing, I suppose. When you go to sleep, socks or no socks?
No socks.
Oh, no socks. Only psychopaths sleep with socks on. I heard a 12-year-old say that once, and it was the funniest thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
If you sleep with socks on, you're a psychopath. I agree. Well, that wasn't. We have to have one that one of us doesn't agree on.
Yeah.
We did cheesecake. Okay.
We did.
Okay. Are muffins, are they really a breakfast food?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just this. Yes, it's a muffin is just a cupcake without frosting, right?
Nah.
Blueberry cupcakes. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I guess they're different.
So do you think a muffin is a breakfast food or not a breakfast food?
I consider it a breakfast food. Yeah.
I think it depends on the type of muffin.
Yeah. They're an all day
You're-
thing, a treat. Houston apparently loves muffins.
They're not. I feel like if you're eating like a triple chocolate muffin, that's dessert. That is not breakfast. That's like saying a Pop Tart is breakfast.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Depends on the flavor. See? Banana nut, breakfast.
Yeah. Birthday cake muffin? No, not breakfast.
Yeah, because, okay, for kids, okay, they make those little mini muffins.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have them in like birthday cake, chocolate chip. I'm like, that is not breakfast.
Little bites. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not breakfast.
No.
Blueberry muffin is breakfast. I agree.
Hold on. Go ahead. Speak
But a
amongst
triple chocolate
yourselves
muffin
first.
is not breakfast. That's a dessert. That's just my opinion.
Oh, I can't believe I haven't done this the whole time. I missed all the opportunities.
Yeah, you did. Oh, you didn't do your voice.
Got my demon's voice. Now it's here. Outstanding.
How about pickle or ice cream?
What or ice cream? What or ice cream? I didn't hear the first part.
Pickles.
Pickles on ice cream?
Yeah.
What?
Sprinkle? No.
Oh, sprinkles.
I don't know. I can't hear.
Hold on.
I'm slightly deaf.
I'll change it back. Do we say sprinkles on ice cream or put your bullshit voice on? Or pickles on ice cream? Which one do we say?
No, separate. Pickles or ice cream.
No, match me.
Houston. My brain is like,
I'm reading questions here. Hold on. Why don't we do? What about mayonnaise on French fries? I'm
Yeah.
pro. Yeah, I'm pro. Well, we all agree. So, moving on. Well done steak, a culinary crime. Yeah, is well done steak a culinary crime? Yes, it is. If you want well done steak, just order chicken. Get out of here with this stuff. Oh, salt on watermelon, and I've heard of this before. It's a thing.
It is a thing.
I've never tried it.
No.
Me neither, but it's a thing. People do it here. I mean,
it sounds awful.
It's supposed to bring out the sweetness.
Interesting. I'll give it that.
That's why, like, when you bake, especially desserts, you put salt because it brings out the sweetness of other things.
All right, here's a good one. What's a food you'll immediately judge someone for ordering? I don't know why that's so funny.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
What is it?
Taco Bell.
Oh, Taco Bell. Yeah. I mean, you got to judge yourself if you're getting Taco Bell. Like, it's just You're paying for mush by the pound with that.
Please.
Let me think. One food immediately to order. I don't know. Like, I kind of like if you're going out to eat and somebody just orders like, oh, I'll get the baked chicken. It's like, what?
Ooh, or when people just order a salad.
Oh yeah, that's what are you doing? Why are we here? Even we could have just gotten vegetables and.
Funny.
What? Some of these are funny. What food instantly tells you someone peaked in college?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's impossible to answer, but it's funny.
Joel, what would you order if you went out? And that'll be my answer to your question.
What would I order?
Yeah.
Um,
And then that will be my answer to the previous question.
I mean, I don't know. I'm always looking at the price these days, but if I'm picking anything, I'm getting a steak when I go out. I haven't had a steak in ages.
I eat my steaks well done.
What? No, you don't. Really? Don't do that. It's wrong. Just don't get steak.
I usually don't. Because I get judged for it, so.
Is deep dish pizza actually pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Damn it. Need some friction here.
Why wouldn't it? How would it not be considered pizza?
I can see how. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. It's just thick. It's just thick pizza. There's really no other. Unless you put pineapple on it, then it's fruit pie, fruit cheese pie.
Pineapple on pizza's good.
I love pineapple and ham.
See?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I guess I'm just gonna have to give up on that one.
You're gonna lose every single time.
I'm like the last holdout here.
It's salty and sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
Fruit pie.
It's a fruit cheese pie. It is good. I just don't think you can call it pizza. Is ranch a condiment or a personality trait?
A personality trait.
It is a personality trait. I agree. And the next question,
have you ever heard someone talk about ranch, and if you say that you don't like ranch, how much fucking hate and backlash you get for that?
Oh, they give you 8 different ways you need to try it, and it's like I've already yeah, it tastes the same no matter what you put it on.
I mean, I like ranch, but it's not like up there on the condiment ranking list.
No. I mean, like if I had to choose a condiment to just kill forever, obviously it would be ketchup, but the next one would be ranch. Just get rid of them entirely. They don't need it.
I don't like ketchup. It's so gross. Juliet, how do you feel about ketchup?
I like ketchup.
Yes, but do you put it on meat? Do you put it on hot dogs?
Absolutely.
Oh God.
Oh God.
And
well, we finally have some friction here, but we've done this question to death.
I use all the condiments on the hot dog.
Real? Oh, so you're just loading it up. You're loading up the hot dog. All right. I don't know.
I guess if you put enough on there, you won't be able to taste the ketchup.
Well, there's the what do they call it? The ketchup with the curry in it. The curry powder, right? What do they call that? Anyone know what that is? Curry pop. Hold on.
Fancy ketchup.
Yes, it's fancy. That's different because that
That's what
tastes significant.
Whataburger has, right? Fancy ketchup. That's what they call it.
It tastes significantly different.
I like ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together.
Oh, it's just called curry ketchup. So okay. I thought it had a name. What's the biggest red flag someone can order at a restaurant? We already kind of said that with the salad, but there's probably more.
I don't know. I mean, I can do a side salad, but I'm not getting a salad as like my main course.
Yeah, no. I mean, a side salad's just, it's like an appetizer. You're just getting some vegetables in there, some roughage for the real meal.
Hey.
That's fine. But yeah, if somebody orders a salad for a meal, immediately I question whether or not they actually want to be there. That's what I like. I don't think you want to be here. Is it me or the restaurant? Because why are you getting a salad? I just want to have a disappointing evening, and I'm going to start it with a salad.
I mean, could be.
Sandwiches cut diagonally or straight across?
So, like a triangle or just...
Yeah, or just a rectangle sandwich.
Triangles are just more fun.
I agree, triangle.
I don't cut my sandwich. I'm not 3 years old. Yeah.
That's a good point. That's what made me think about it.
I don't even cut my kids' sandwiches. I mean, I take the crust off, but I don't cut them. They just shove it in there. Better aesthetics. Well, I'm not like a Pinterest mom or anything, so I don't care about aesthetics.
Okay, here's a good one. If someone was possessed, what food would you feed them?
Pea soup.
Pizza?
Pea soup.
Oh, oh. See, I'd avoid the pea soup because you don't want it to come back up.
Yeah, you do. Spiders.
Spiders. Got you a bowl of spiders. Do you feel better yet? I mean, I would go with like... What?
Oh, I was just asking Juliet what she would choose.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say the pea soup.
Pea soup.
I mean, soup is a good choice no matter what if somebody's not well, right?
Yeah. But it would just be funny because...
I know what I would avoid. Deviled eggs.
Or milk.
Or devil's food cake.
That's another one. You don't want to be vomited on milk.
No. Different choice. I would avoid those foods.
Deviled eggs?
Can you imagine being at a possession and then we're like, and we have refreshments out front. We have deviled eggs. Someone's passing around a plate of deviled eggs at a possession.
Deviled ham.
Deviled ham. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, actually, why do we call them that?
What?
I don't know.
I'll Google it.
Why do they call them deviled eggs?
Yeah.
Why do they call them that? Hold on. That's a great...
I know some people personally who call them angel eggs instead of deviled eggs. They're religious. They call them angel eggs.
Fine, but if somebody offered me angel eggs, I'd expect them to be different.
Maybe a little gold dust on the top.
The name has less to do with Satan than with spicy food. Basically, because somebody called him a devil.
They're not spicy. Oh, because paprika is spicy.
Yeah, for like to English people, paprika at one, paprika was like, whoa, anything besides salt and pepper for the English was just like,
Oh, but going back to the like, what would you feed like possessed people? And we said soup.
yeah,
You remember in that movie Weapons, the little boy fed those kids chicken noodle soup.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they weren't possessed, but they were still. I mean,
Yeah,
remember?
he kept speaking on the street.
Yeah,
I don't remember that part.
he fed them chicken noodle soup because they were all in the basement.
Oh, right. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I mean, again, that's your go-to when you're not well, right? It's chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
When I got food poisoning that one time and it literally knocked me on my ass, I thought felt like I was actually poisoned. It was awful. That's chicken noodle soup. That's all I ate for like 2 days. That and toast. That was That was terrible. I mean, my stomach hasn't been right since then. I fell on the floor. I couldn't. I had a nervous vagal response, whatever it's called, and
He was going, bitch.
put me right on my ass. I threw up for an hour and a half, crouched in the shower. I couldn't even stand up. Throwing up in the shower, like around me. I couldn't do anything.
That's terrible.
I couldn't hold myself up on the toilet because I was afraid I was going to fall and hit my head on it. That's how bad it was. Like
So you just sat in the shower.
I sat in the shower and threw up.
Nice.
It was awful. Even in the shower, I was afraid I was going to slip, and I was crouched down. I was still afraid I was going to slip and fall. Like I just felt so weak. It was crazy.
I'm just here for Joel to eventually pan the camera left.
Ain't happening, bro. Besides, there's nothing. I mean, you're going to see 2 walls and a pile of laundry. That is it.
He wants to see your dirty underwear.
I promise you don't. All right, we'll do one more question. I think we'll call it.
Okay.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever eaten at 2 a.m.? I know what mine is.
What's the question again?
What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever eaten at 2 a.m.?
Go ahead, Joel.
I've literally dipped butter in just sugar. Like, this would be good. Yeah. Wasn't my proudest moment.
I think I'm sleeping at 2. I don't think I really get up to eat.
Say the last part again.
I don't get up to eat.
Oh, you don't get up? Okay. I mean,
Okay, what about just in general? What's the weirdest thing you've...
yeah, what's the weirdest thing you generally eat?
Huh. I don't know.
I've never dipped a stick of butter in sugar.
Yeah. This, like I said, it was not a proud moment.
It's not.
Yeah, I can't think of something right now.
Last night I ate barbecue chips and cottage cheese.
That's pretty gross. Gotta admit, that's pretty gross.
It was aight. I ate a
Mm.
lollipop with a bug inside of it, but did not eat the bug. Um, I mean, I've never eaten a bug. Well, I used to eat worms.
I ate a live minnow once. You see worms like night crawlers or like
Yeah, when I was
like
I was little,
just
they slide right down.
hey, they're nutritious, right?
I fish like them.
Protein. All right, all right. Why don't we wrap it up? It's just Houston in here laughing at us anyway. I'm glad we entertained you. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.